Hello, my friends. It's Marie from Marie's Gold, and I have the amazing Chelsea Larsen here. Say hello.
Hi.
I only met Chelsea a week and a half ago or so, and I'm in love with her, and I know you will too. She's got the sweetest, most pure soul that I've met, and I just want to share a little bit about her passion and some of the wonderful things she's bringing to our community, and give her an opportunity to let you know some really cool things that are coming up. So welcome for being on our Gold in the Soul show.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me.
And so I thought that maybe before we start into the big stuff, maybe you could just tell our audience a little bit about you, maybe some of the things that you love, a little bit about your family.
Yeah. So I'm Chelsea, and I am the mother of two beautiful girls, 4 and 2, and we have our third on the way. We don't know the gender, so we're due at the end of June, and we're just really excited to bring another little bundle into the world. My husband and I are, like I said, really excited to continue our family. We're kind of thinking this might be the last kid, but we don't know. Whatever comes our way, we're kind of rolling with the punches here. And our children that we have now, Fiona and Robin, they are just amazing. I mean, they've given us so much love and light and teach us stuff every single day that we're learning, how to go through these emotions of being parents and loving ourselves in the process and everything that goes with that. So we really enjoy being outside and gardening and doing stuff together as a family in our home. And we're pretty active people. We not too sportsy necessarily, but we just like being outside and camping and being in nature and playing in water and all those things.
Aww.
So yeah.
So this is going to be your season.
Yeah, so I've only had winter babies, so I'm having a summer baby this year, and I'm really excited about that.
Oh, so. I know, and pretty soon. That's
yes.
And isn't it interesting? We think that we are going to teach our children things, and honestly, it's always them teaching us.
Yeah, I read recently that that kids are a reflection of who we are, and they give us really concrete examples of the stuff that we need to work on in ourselves. And when they're acting out and misbehaving and having, it's their way of being like, get your stuff together. Like, I'm sick of teaching you this lesson. I need to move on,
I need to move on.
Yeah. I need to get on with my life. Like, hurry up and figure this stuff out. So we're really trying to take a conscious approach to parenting, and it's challenging. Like, I will be honest with that. It is hard, but yeah, I mean, we're both creative, really creative minded. We're both artists. My husband is a tattoo artist and is amazing at drawing and creating imaginative images, and just really, really talented in that. And I have an art degree from the College of Idaho, and I love painting and sculpture and mixed media stuff. So we've kind of put all that stuff on the back burner as we're having, the busyness of young children and everything. But that's where our heart is anything arts and creativity and yeah, so
we're buddies on that. Chelsea and I learned that we have a lot of common things, and creativity and art is one of mine. I'm not talented at drawing, but I do like mixed media, and I love creating. It's just yes. And the other thing we have in common is we both love projects. And recently I've learned about your KYMfest, which is a project that I know is near and dear to your heart. And there are so many foundational principles to it. So I'm just going to turn over the time to you to share whatever you would like about this. One of the things I do know is that you took something out of something that was very tragic. You created something for our community. And so if you could just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'd love to. So KYMfest is, it's now become an annual community family festival. It started as a celebration of life and memorial for my sister, who was killed in a domestic violence attack last March. And the incident happened in my home, and I was injured. My mom was injured. Our children were present to witness some of that. And my sister left behind a 2.5-month-old baby that my other sisters now adopted, and we were all kind of co-parenting our children together, and it's really brought us together in that sense. But we decided about a few days after it happened last spring that we wanted to put on a memorial for KYM and have a celebration of life. And because we had such a loving support and outreach from the community at large, I mean, so many people, whether we knew them personally or not, were affected by our story. It was very impactful for the community because of the way it happened, and who, you know, the amount of people that were involved, and everything. So we decided to do a festival-themed community festival celebration of life for her last spring, and planned it in about 6 days. I was, you know, on my hospital bed and in the hotel because we couldn't come back to our house. We had to renovate and all this stuff. So I was, you know, just putting out the vision on Facebook pretty much, and just seeing where we could take it. I knew when my brother and sister came to me and said, do you have any ideas? Do you want to be a part of this? How are you feeling up for that? And I was like, yeah, we're doing a festival and it's going to be open to the community. And I didn't even have any hesitation. I just knew for some reason that that's what she would want. And so we ended up having about 300 attendees, and like I said, it was planned in less than a week, and
Awesome.
and it was all a collaborative effort from the community. We had friends and family step in and step up to the plate and help set up, clean up, organize different people to be there. We had therapy dogs come and be a part of it. We had Boise Music Therapy do a drum circle. We had a friend put on the catering. We had several people do different odds and end things. Like we had one person put together a whole garbage bag full of these little memorabilia pillows that had my name or my sister's name embroidered, and just like all these like really cool, unique and fun and
contributions.
Yeah, it was just amazing to see that. And it was, we felt like it was, and from the feedback we got afterwards, really healing for the community to see like the power of trying to create something good from something so tragic. And because we saw the impact so powerful in those around us, we wanted to do something to kind of give back. We had a ton of, you know, donations and meal support and all of the things coming into us. And we're like, how do we give back, you know, for all this? We couldn't possibly send out thank you cards to everybody or, you know, personally, you know, get in touch with everybody. So what can we do to just bring everybody together and express that gratitude and express that, you know, we're in this to get, like, we're all feeling traumatized. We're all feeling impacted. Like, let's come together so we can heal from this. And it was really, really amazing. So we had a lot of people wanting to see it happen again. I mean, it was like, are you doing this again? You like, can we make this a yearly thing? Like, let's keep doing this. And so that's kind of where we sparked the vision to continue this every single year. And so now we're expanding on that memorial for KYM, and making it into a broader memorial and celebration of life and love for other people in our community who have lost their lives to tragedy. And tragedy encompasses so much. I mean, in our situation, it was domestic violence, and it was a sudden, unexpected death, and tragic death, violent death, unfortunately. But for others, it could be a car accident that takes a family away, that leaves people shattered and feeling broken and feeling like they're picking up the pieces, or it could be suicide or mental health, issues that have caused that, or chronic illnesses, cancer, all of the things that just leave families in pieces and really overwhelmed by the trauma of what they've experienced and needing to pick up the pieces and heal from that. So in our experience, in the aftermath of what happened to us as a family, we noticed that there was all these different pockets of support and resources and amazing things happening in our community, but the sense of overwhelm and stress and just kind of panic and post-trauma figuring out of how we pick our lives back up after this was really overwhelming, and we noticed that there wasn't kind of this one-stop shop for us to go and say, this is our situation, because everybody's situation varies so greatly. This is our personal situation. This is all the facets of what we're dealing with. We have adoption now to deal with in the foster system because he was orphaned. The baby was orphaned. We have our house to renovate. We have our children that witnessed and saw, and we're traumatized. We have, all these different factors. Like, how do we even start to heal from that and really take actionable steps and make that progress? And so we luckily we have a huge support system. We have a lot of family. We have a lot of friends in the area that helped guide us through that. But not everybody has that. Not everybody has anybody, to lean on in certain times. And so what we want to do with KYMfest is recreate that community festival and expand on the memorial piece of it, and really take the time to honor these people who've lost their lives and left us, in this aftermath, but also bring together the resources that are in our community that help, that are people helping people pick up the pieces and heal in all the different areas of life, and bring them into one area in a park, fun family setting that can help people access what's out there and become aware of it. That's the biggest challenge that we've noticed, and gaps that we've encountered and have been expressed to us by all these different organizations and resources and people that are working towards these goals. There's a lack of awareness in what's really out there. There's a lack of this sense of feeling like empowered enough to reach out for help.
Yeah. And or like you not knowing where to start.
Yeah. Like, how do we even start? What do we don't, okay, therapy might be good for us, or me in this situation, and it's been integral in our healing process, but that's only one piece of it. Like, what about the financial strain that I'm feeling now? What about the relationship tension that I'm getting now because I have all these triggers that I didn't have before, and these trauma responses that are coming up? How do I deal with this stuff that's now surfacing from the past because I experienced a trauma that I'm realizing, have affected me my whole life, and I want to get a handle, like, what are the steps? So with KYMfest, we're really hoping that it's not just your typical festival experience. It's really interactive and engaging, and helps kind of plant the seeds in people to want to look within themselves to find what healing they need and what kind of resources they need to help them achieve that journey, stepping into that journey and that path of feeling whole again. That's really what we want to do. So we're bringing in live entertainment and influential speakers and instructors for workshops and activities for all ages, and live demonstrations and tutorials in things like self-defense and trauma-informed yoga and anti-bullying and how to reframe certain stigmas that are out there, like mental health and suicide and violence and trauma, and what those actually mean for people, and how we can start shifting our own mindsets towards this mentality away from judgment and shame and blame and fear that really holds us back from getting that help and seeking that healing in ourselves. We want to help just foster an environment where we can start shifting that as a collective, as a community, and most importantly within ourselves, into more empathy and understanding and kindness and self-love and compassion, and understanding and realizing that the perpetuation of violence is so much greater than somebody inflicting physical harm on another person. It's in the way we speak to each other. It's in the way that we think about ourselves and about other people. It's in our body language, our energy. All of it encompasses what's being put out there, and what we're attracting and stuff. So,
well, I know what you, one of the things that has been brought up is this happened only a year ago. And a lot has happened in that year. And you've taken something that's really difficult, and you're creating resources, you're creating tools for people to deal with this. And it's not easy. And I just want you to express to people from your perspective how that this is a conscious effort every day for you to have this love and this compassion. It wasn't something that happened overnight. Some of the things that you might do for yourself that helps you get to that next day. Would you be willing to share some of that? Because there is struggle. We don't want people to think that this is something that's just real easy. Or could you share?
Yeah, like I said, or I was telling Marie earlier, that this some people may have the perception that, okay, this has only been a year and look at her now, she's doing all these amazing things and she seems fine, and like, did she even have a trauma, because look at her, look at how wonderful, and that's come, that's been brought to my attention that the transformation that I've gone through in this last year is really inspiring, and it's really empowering for other people to see that. But I do want to emphasize that it has been a conscious effort, moment to moment, day to day, and continues to be that. And I've come to realize through this process that it's going to be a lifelong journey of healing, and healing not just from this trauma that I've experienced this last year and our family, has gone through together, but trauma is so varied and multifaceted that there's a lot of things in my life before this most recent trauma that have set myself on a certain trajectory, or I've adopted belief systems or patterns or habits that I am now, becoming aware of and wanting to shift and kind of recreate who I am and really step into what I want my life to look like versus, well, that's who I am because these things have happened to me, or that's, you know, I've always been this way and that's just who I am. I believe in the power of transformation on a day-to-day basis, and it takes conscious, you know, effort. And so like Marie asked, what do I do, you know, in those moments where I have emotional imbalance and outbursts and irregularity, and my mental focus and clarity is not there, or my, you know, levels of sadness or anxiety or depression are through the roof. Like, how do I come back to this grounded feeling? And it takes a lot, you know, sometimes it takes reaching out and asking for help from somebody else, or just sharing what I'm going through to somebody that can, you know, really listen, to feel like I have some footing again. And sometimes it's as simple as breathing. Sometimes it's super, I think we overcomplicate things sometimes and feel like we need a fixer or a solution to, you know, those feelings, you know, those uprising of an overwhelm of feelings and emotion and all those things. But the thing that I found most helpful for me in a lot of ways is coming back inward and finding my breath again and doing the deep belly breathing and slow and pace myself of connecting with myself inside, and realizing that the sadness that I'm feeling, or the pain or the memories that I'm having, they're not defining who I am going forward, but noticing them and giving them a little bit of credit and saying, yeah, it's hard right now. And just acknowledging that and having the empathy for myself to be able to not try to necessarily fix everything and try to, you know, come up with,
push it down either.
Yeah, not suppress it down, but actually just notice it and be with it for a minute and find that kind of sweet spot between sadness and joy and love and fear and like all of the things that make us human. You know, where can we just observe it and just notice it and just be okay with, this is a feeling that I'm having right now, and I'm, you know, either experiencing a physiological response, or I'm, you know, needing some downtime. I need to rest. It's really about just listening to what your body needs and noticing that there is a mind-body connection in emotion, that we literally have a physical response to those, you know, emotional uprisings that happen in ourselves. So another thing is like getting some sunshine, stepping my bare feet into the ground, like really connecting with earth. And I mean that because we don't spend a lot of time really connected. We have shoes on, we have clothes on, we have, you know, a hat that protects us from the sun, and a, you know, whatever it is, like, and it doesn't take a lot of time to just put your feet in the ground or put your hands in the dirt, but it makes
amazing. It doesn't have to be very long at all. We're connected. Just feel and that's actual grass and earth, not concrete.
Right.
So that works. It's just not the same as just actually feeling the earth in your feet.
Yeah.
So does so I'm just going to back up just a little bit, because when you talk about KYMfest, the KYM is the way your sister spells her name, is find your mind. Is that what you're referring to? Some of the ways that you can be kind to yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we came up with, so as I was looking at in the really early stages of trying to plan this year's KYMfest, I was like, what could KYM stand for, you know, in a broader sense that really encompasses what we're trying to achieve and help people understand. And Kind Your Mind came to me because her name is spelled KYM, and it really caught fire with those around me, and we're like, yeah, that's the perfect explanation of what we're doing. And so that stuck, and that's been kind of we're introducing KYMfest as Kind Your Mind Festival. So and kind of one of our catchphrases, come to KYMfest to kind your mind. And the movement that we're going to be putting out there is, how do you kind your mind? And so what we're meaning by that is, how do you take the a mindful action towards kindness for yourself and for others in order to reduce these violent kind of tendencies and programming that we're all, you know, subject to because of the society we live in. Unfortunately, we've fostered in our culture and really in the world in a lot of ways a mindset of judgment on others and ourselves, and shame and fear and blame, versus having just a little bit of empathy and a little bit of kindness and a little bit of love, you know, that really goes a long way. And is way more productive than judging yourself or others, or feeling ashamed of something, which then makes you not want to reach out or not want to change because you feel like
perpetuates.
Yeah, because you feel like that's just who I am, or this is what I've done, or whatever. And so Kind Your Mind was a good way to kind of encompass that and start a movement that gives people ideas and actionable things that they themselves could try or do, or even just start making the conscious shifts in the way they think or feel, or identifying, you know, what emotions coming up in them and how that, you know, affects their reactions and responses to things and that sort of thing. So KYMfest is...
Tell us about when it is, and because we're all out of time. So tell us a little bit about when it is, and you told us about some of the activities. So you have something for all ages, and then if you would just briefly talk about how that's going to go into your bigger vision, just a little excerpt of that. So does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah. So KYMfest is July 27th. It's at Lakeview Park in Nampa. It's from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's an all-day, one-day event. Like she said, we have activities for all ages. It will be fun. There will be food vendors and local vendors that are selling their, you know, local goods and services. But I will say that everybody that we're bringing in as a vendor or a contributor or a participant in being an instructor, workshop, or anything like that are aligned to our vision, see the need for this in our community and want to help us reduce violence and heal trauma. So you will know that the businesses that we're promoting, you know, and that are being displayed at KYMfest and offering their goods and services have caught the vision and have aligned with us in wanting to make this kind of a bigger movement and a mass effort to really bring our community together. We're seeing the need.
I'm excited about.
Well, yeah, we see the need full force for us as a community, as people, you know, people helping people standing alongside and lifting each other up, and just eliminating all the judgment and stuff, and being able to just fully be real with, you know, who we are.
What would that be like, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the world that we all, you know, want and hope, but have almost lost hope in ourselves and in humanity of how this, you know, especially it would be really easy for me to get hung up on that mentality after being, you know, brutally attacked by a man with a machete who was out with a vengeance, you know, for somebody that only loved him and only, you know, and I've had to, and I've welcomed the idea of he was going through trauma, he was hurt, he was enraged, he was suppressed, and feeling this outburst of, and it doesn't justify what happened, but knowing that about him, because I knew him well before this, and knowing that about him gives me some empathy and compassion and hope that by making these shifts in mindset and going from these violent tendencies in our ways of being to a more nonviolent way of communicating with each other and acting upon things and being in relationship and love, that's going to get to the root of where this anger and frustration and rage, this pent up, you know, emotion that we suppress down because it's not socially acceptable to, you know, admit that you're going with this or whatever. Like, that's what we want, is for the people that come to KYMfest to be living in these situations, whether they're being victimized or they are the abuser or they have been an offender in the past or they know people that are going through this stuff. We want to be able to offer just a little bit more guidance, a little bit more direction on how to shift within ourselves. And that's what it comes down to. And so our big vision with this, we are in the brand new stages. We just kind of got the official status and everything confirmed, but we're starting a nonprofit that's called For You Network, Inc. It is family-oriented resources for the young, old, and underserved. So what we want to be is a connection center that brings the awareness and accessibility to the resources that are already in place. So we want to collaborate with organizations and individuals and companies that are actively engaged in bringing these resources to people and connect people with them. We want to be kind of a one-stop shop and a middle ground for people that are experiencing things but don't necessarily qualify or have the criteria to go to a crisis center or to go to a clinician, or don't really know what they need exactly, but we can help direct that. We want to facilitate groups and classes and support around, and workshops and activity around community engagement and involvement, bringing in these partners and collaborators that are working towards this. So we want to connect. We want to find that sense of connection and belonging and love and support and community that we all long for.
Yeah. That's why I aligned with you so well.
Yeah.
I think that you said all the words that I feel that our project stands for, and I see that future collaboration. So collaboration, community, resources, bringing all these things in so that we're working together to heal, especially our community. We have just an amazing Treasure Valley, but I can see where that vision gets even bigger and expands to the world. So
yeah.
I want to say thank you so much for honoring us with your vision and, you know, holding that space for us, for continuing to believe when there are times when you probably didn't know why or the how, or I mean, because sometimes when we're in the middle of these projects, we don't know how, but we just know there's that need, and we have that passion and that drive to push it forward. So thank you for bringing us hope, for bringing us resources, for collaborating with us, for making this happen and making this celebration of life so beautiful. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see all that happens, and for many years to come, and bringing our families together. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'm honored. Thank you for taking the time today to be on this program and to share your vision with us. So after we're complete, in the comment section, we will make sure you get all the websites, ways that you can donate, because there's a way that you can help the GoFundMe project to help get, because these projects aren't, they're a little, you know, they need your money as well as your support. So if you can't give money, there's ways to volunteer and support the project that way, right?
Yeah. We're looking for contributors, participants, volunteers, anyone, and we're open to what that means for certain. So if you feel really called to be participant and you have something of value, whether it's your time, your money, or
pillows,
or any, like, reach out, because now's the time we're filling in what exactly is going to be at KYMfest, what the schedules are, what the lineup's going to be, and all of those things. So like Marie said, I will share those things in the comment. KYMfest.com is a good landing point that we'll have.
Yeah, that's good.
Really soon about all the details. So just stay tuned, because it's about to really blow up. We've been, like she said, we haven't really focused too much on the how. We've just been planting the vision in ourselves and really getting exactly what we want to bring, and the how is happening.
It just unfolds, right?
It is happening, and we have an event planner, Meg Enterprises, with Marlene Robinson, is doing amazing work to help us execute this event the way that we want it and bring to the community the broad vision of what we're trying to achieve. So For You Network is our page. I'll share everything in the comments, like she said.
Oh, that would be great. I appreciate that. So thank you again for everything. It's such a pleasure to meet you. So glad that we have people like you in the world. So
yeah, don't lose hope. We've got this, guys.
Yeah, don't lose hope.
We're here for you, and we've got this.
Okay. Until the next time we meet, may you find the gold in you, because you are amazing and beautiful. May you find the gold in others, even when some days it's a little difficult, and may you find the beauty and the gold in the world. God bless you.